All right, welcome to another video from the chart readers. If you haven't already, please click subscribe. It's the quickest way to get video updates. Otherwise, hey, I appreciate your time and I hope you're learning watching these videos. So today we are going to be looking at the EV sector. We have 8 tickers, and as always, we'll use the daily and the weekly charts, the moving average lines, these horizontal support and resistance lines that I manually draw, and then we'll wind it out with the MACD and the RSI just kind of as that little extra confirmation. So as always, I like to start with what I kind of call the big boy or the big girl, right? And in the EV world, obviously that is Tesla, right? So what are we seeing here? I'm not going to lie to you, a lot of positivity, right? So I want to kind of start by talking about yesterday. Yesterday was a very ugly day in the market, right? The NASDAQ dropped roughly 5%, about $400, $500. That's a big number in all honesty, right? Normally they move less than 1%, right? So you can see how drastic this stock will move if the major markets start to turn, right? This right here is an extremely positive run, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row of positivity. We bounce from the 50, break the 8, break the 20, break the 200, actually break one of my lines as well, right? We essentially went line to line in 5 days, right? If the NASDAQ didn't suck yesterday, we probably would have been I got to zoom out. That's how we probably would have been working our way up to this 330 number, right? But one bad day in the NASDAQ really brought down Tesla pretty hard, right? The good thing is there was a lot of recovery today, but I want to stress the markets because look, if the markets do well, this is wildly bullish, right? Again, we're over the 8 for actually all of these days. We've stayed over the 20 for 4 days. And I mean, we've retaken the 20, we've retaken this line. Hopefully tomorrow starts positive. In all honesty, the safest place to get in would probably be around 309.50. That's actually a pretty good round number, actually. So 309.50 would be the safest place. At the minimum, I would almost wait for 304.50, right? Let's at least get over this hump before getting in. Because again, just some natural early resistances, right? But again, the safest move would actually be 309.50 and pretty much ride that up to that 330 number we were showing. Down here, again, I like what I'm seeing in our low indicators, right? Green over red, green over red. And look, we had such a wild spike down, but at least we kind of maintained it, right? It didn't continue what looked really drastic. So again, a lot of that really just was the NASDAQ kind of surviving, right? This is a really nice weekly to look at as well, right? We are 2 weeks over the green line. We're actually so far 2 weeks over the red line. And again, we've now come over that 300 line as well, right? So again, this looks positive, but just keep an eye on the NASDAQ because again, you can see what the day will do. Just killing a 5-day rush, and luckily we were able to bounce up today, right? So be careful, watch the markets. But if the markets are there, man, Tesla looks wildly bullish actually. MULN, M-U-L-N. Okay, I feel like a lot of people are getting really mad at me because they think I'm talking shit about MULN. I know there's a lot of passion on this one. A lot of people sincerely believe, hey, look, it's literally a car company that you're buying at 50 cents. Believe me, I hear all that. All I'm saying is, look, there are a couple basic rules that I repeat on these videos a lot. And rule number 1 is don't throw your money in when you're under the 8, right? It is what it is. There was this moment right here in early September where I tried to retake it, actually try to even take the 20, but obviously the fails come through. And look, once you're under the 8, bad things happen, and oh my goodness, we are at all-time lows. Is that what I'm looking at? Sorry to zoom out so much, but yeah, it looks like, what was the low here? So the low is 52 cents. We're actually at 53 cents right now. So we are basically staring down the pipe of all-time lows. This RSI, you can see the red is over the green. Again, the MACD, the red is over the green. There's so much bad on this that it's not good, right? And I promise, I'm not here to talk shit about any stock. Once this thing starts trading over the green, believe me, I'm going to be the biggest supporter of MULN. Right now, I'm continuing to say this thing can go, never ask yourself how much lower can it go, because the answer could be really bad. Again, I'm not trying to, there's no reason to look at the weekly and all, like we're at all-time lows, right? That doesn't matter what we're looking at. But MULN needs to make a move before I would even consider it. And not only does it have to make a move, it really needs to hold it and show some confirmation. So, so much bad on MULN. And again, I'm not here to talk shit. I'm not here to bash a stock. It is a car company at pennies on the dollar, right? Literally 50 cents for a share. But again, it's a more matter of what your time frame is, right? LIDR, this is another kind of sad one, right? Look, again, all of these days been trading under the 8. There was a small chance that it broke it there, but clearly failed. Small chance it broke it there, but clearly failed. And again, where are we? We're under the 1. Do I have another line underneath? Man, do I have to zoom out? We are at all-time lows. We're just continuing these all-time lows, right? Again, I'm not here to talk bad about any company. I'm sure it's a great company, right? I don't care about any fundamental stuff. I'm technical only. And look, we need to get over the green line. I mean, you can see it's been struggling to do that for well over a month. So again, I wouldn't touch this thing until it was over 151. In all honesty, it's probably better to wait to even just get over the 20, because look, it's just been that long, right? It's been a little more than a month, right? Yeah, August 15th, give or take, is when this thing was there. I'm real sorry. Again, I don't need to look at the weekly, right? The weekly has to be under the 8 all these weeks if we're getting all those days under the 8, right? So, yeah, just like MULN, we really need to see a bounce point. Man, rough. Okay, EVGO is looking a little better, at least than the last two, right? So what are we seeing? Almost the same chart as Tesla, right? Not quite the greens in a row, but essentially instead of bouncing off the 50, EVGO came all the way down to the 100 moving average, it looked like, right? Blue line, blue line. It made a nice bounce for about 4 days, got over the 8, hit a wall right here, right? Definitely this cluster of the 200 and the 20. It nicely bounced what looks like off the 50, and again, right now, at least as of today's, we are over the 8, right? Again, we have another cluster here. It's not as tight as it was on this 12th rejection, right? So hopefully we can get over this. Maybe, what's this number? Over, let's call it 945. If we can get to like 945 tomorrow, maybe we'll do a battle for the 200 the next day, right? So EVGO does look a little more bullish. I don't like these lower indicators down here though. Clearly the red is over green, red is over green. We want it other way around, right? Green is good, you want green on top. So, but again, it's been extremely tight, so I'm not necessarily worried, but obviously I wish both were a little more positive. But hey, I'll take being over the 8 for now. Hopefully NASDAQ is positive tomorrow. And then again, I think our target would be around that like 945, 950 number. So well, I'll take a look at the weekly real quick. Okay, weekly is basically sitting in this channel between the 50 and the 20, right? Hopefully we go up, right? Last week it did close over the 8. Clearly this week it didn't. Maybe it was because of yesterday's gap down, right? It did gap down yesterday, though it closed as a positive day yesterday. But yeah, it'd be good to get over the 8 on the weekly again, right? Because then again, obviously we'd be going after the 50 from there. So I'd say this one is also a little bit bullish, but again, make sure you watch the NASDAQ. You know, I feel like every now and then I forget to add this one, right? But Polestar, this is definitely a passion stock. And this actually does look pretty bullish, right? So we've had a couple positive days in a row. We've had 4 actually over the 8. And right now, are we actually sitting on it? We're under it by a penny. So 787 is where we're at. 788 is the 20. If we can break the 20 tomorrow, there is a very good chance that we're running up. So what line? Yeah, nice. That's a good break too. So literally, I think if this opens positive tomorrow, Polestar could have a very nice run. This is good. Again, we have green over red, which I like, green over red, which I like, and the RSI is not too high. This thing definitely has some room to run if it can. And more than anything, look, these 4 consecutive days were the first days in a pretty long time that we've been over it, let alone consecutively over it, right? So it's a very important feat. It really is. We got to break the 20. Because a 20 is very easily a place where you can bounce down from, right? As much as you want to bounce up, there are also rejection points. But one more time, if we break the 20 tomorrow, if we literally start just a little positive, there's almost no reason to believe that there's about $1 run in that, right? So that's almost a little more than 10% run. So Polestar actually looking pretty good for tomorrow. Again, definitely on the weekly, we are well under the 8, right? This is a relatively new stock. It converted at some point, right? It wasn't PSNY before. I forgot the tickers before. It was a SPAC before, right? But yeah, this is a good 2-week run. But again, we've seen good 2-week runs come up to a line and fail, right? So just keep history in mind. But day by day, if this thing goes up, this thing can be pretty good actually. So Polestar looking pretty positive. VLDR, okay, nice. I remember this one also being in that realm of looking pretty bad. It's not quite at all-time lows. That's what I was zooming out of. But where are we? Hey, we're actually not that bad a place, right? This is almost similar to EVGO. We're definitely in a very tight cluster of lines, right? There's the 5, the 8, the 20. The 8, the 50, and the 20, too many numbers. There's 2 lines that I drew, at least one in between those lines, right? So kind of a cluster for sure, but nonetheless, we're at least over the 8, we're over the 50, we're literally on the line, right? Because the line is 1.22. We're closed at 1.22. If we can go positive, I could see this being a nice little channel to run here. So VLDR, not the best one on this list, but by no means the worst one, right? Weekly not looking great, but we're getting closer to that 8, right? We're definitely sitting on the line, obviously, from the other one as well. But we don't want to lose it because that's a pretty hard drop if we lose it. But hey, the weekly actually doesn't look too bad either. So again, VLDR, not the worst, but definitely not the best. Solo, SOLO, nice monster day today. Again, only 4%, a little less than 5, right? But a monster candle to say the least. Are we on the 8? It doesn't look like we're quite over it. Let me look. So the 8 is 1.37, and then we closed at 1.37. So technically not over it. We're on it, right? I like the 3 days that we got, 3 good greens, right? If this opens above it, if this opens at 1.38, there's a good chance we run to the 45 up there, right? So what number is this? Yeah, literally 1.3. Yeah, if this open at 1.39, you should be able to see a good run to 1.45, which isn't that bad a percentage short term, actually. Definitely not great on the weekly. Hopefully this week is good, and then we kind of make our way back up. But hey, this thing has had some good runs, right? It's definitely kind of on the way back. But if we can get back over, especially if we can get back over this little cluster on the weekly, that would be really nice to see, actually. So yeah, charge point is the last one, and this looks beautiful, right? This is a very nice chart to see on the daily. So we had this cluster here kind of going back and forth between all these lines. We finally break it on, what day is this? The 8th. And then really it's just been a couple of days of going over the 8, right? Yesterday's drop definitely did drop it, like we saw in Tesla, right? We do see the gap down here, but hey, it still went up. It still went up. And do I have lines up there? I do. Yeah, we're going back hopefully to 20, right? I could see 1890 being a little bit of a resistance, but hey, between 1818 and 1890 is not quite 10%, but it's a little more than 5% for sure. And hey, again, on the short-term move, that's not bad at all. That looks like the RSI did get a little higher. Not even really, actually. It was only 73. But again, kind of cooled off. But we're still over it. And hopefully if we get another positive day, that curls back up. But ChargePoint has been looking really good. And again, that's a great weekly, right? We broke the 8 and the 50 last week. And so far, we are holding it. So liking what I'm seeing on ChargePoint. And hey, look, these actually look good as well. So yeah, not too bad, about 15 minutes. So, hey, hopefully you stayed through the whole thing because really, again, ChargePoint was the best one. So, hey, if you've been here the whole time, I hope you're learning. I hope you do subscribe, and I appreciate your time.